So, I have a old Pulsator, Perfection Milker, from Perfection Manufacturing out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I've already disassembled it, because the first time it either ran like crazy or it wouldn't run. So, took it all apart, started cleaning it out. And I'm now going to show you some of the neat intricacies of it as I put it back together, and Lord willing, it'll actually work this time. So the main plunger's gone, but in here you can see where it used to be. You can see different holes where the vacuum would be pulled in and discharged to get it to run. In this orifice, if I can get the light to go in there properly, not really, there you about half see it. There's little notches that pull the vacuum this way and this way, and then there's one even there in the bottom where it kind of, yeah, there you can actually half see it. There's actually a hole there in the bottom where it comes up through, and then there's the two side ports. The bottom hole would go down here where the bucket is. I don't have the bucket. Well, not with me. I have it, just not with me today. So, anyways, that's the main base of the Pulsator. The holes inside there that I showed you line up to the holes on the main drum cylinder. This would go from the main vacuum port in the bottom to each of the pulsation nipples. These are the little channels which the vacuum travels back and forth in as it pulsates. I disassembled the whole thing. The leather cups were definitely worn out. However, I figured out that leather cups from an ACR will work perfect, and they're oversized. So I can actually take used ones that are trash and use them. So, renew leather cups. The spring was okay, kept the spring. Grease the rod which it will spin on. It'll make sense why it spins later. Reassemble that. One on each end. Hopefully it goes back together. Again, grease mainly the leather parts as it goes back to assembly. The grease will help it slide a little bit better than what the oil will, and the grease will stick around a smidget longer. Leather cups are always fun to cut to get in there. This one will be especially fun. Because this one I have to install backwards. Or I shouldn't say backwards. Has to go against the grain. And you also got to make sure that it lines up in there with that thing that you'll see momentarily. There's the center. Where's the top? Oh, there's the top. Leather cups and the end caps I think are good. They look like crap, but they're pretty good yet. The changeover pin is definitely well worn. It don't look like much, but it was crap. And since Perfection's been out of business for a long time, I can't get one. So I whittled one out of a piece of trash. Any piece of trash, even a nice new piece of metal, would work fine. It's not quite exactly like the original, but it works pretty good, I think. If not, I'll find out when I turn it on. The only catch is the original had a slot for a screwdriver, and I deemed it unnecessary, especially if this will work. Alright, that's that. Set it at a nice start position. On the back side, we have restrictor needles, kind of like a surge pulsator, only this uses one on each side. Different pulsation companies did this. Westphalia did it in theirs, only they used a nozzle disc that you change to set the speeds. There's a secondary little stop that once you find the right speed, you set it and lock her in place. Drip of oil. There's probably more in the drip, but she'll like it. That will go down and oil that cylinder once it gets running. Told the wifey, when I die, don't chuck the buckets out. When I got this thing, it was locked up tight, and it sat in this bucket. So now another pulsator gets the chance. When I die, don't just chuck the buckets. Make sure there's no automation parts being soaked in there. Most of them are tagged, but not all of them. Open one pretty far and it don't make a huge difference. Once I open them both up, don't have to get caught in there. Believe it or not, that is actually running a ratio of 60-40, which is a fairly good speed. We still have a lot of guys running that. That guy's running a little bit more aggressive ratio. (60-40) ratio, 60% sucking, 40% rest. That's actually about 50 pulses a minute there. I gotta do is get my Perfection engine running, and we'll be able to milk a cow.